What's up, Zox fan? We're back with some more Etheria Restart. Now, we're going to be getting into a character overview of the Eternal Slumber Valerian. Now, this is a fairly unique character, and she's actually currently one of a kind in terms of what value she's bringing to the table. Now, when we actually dive deeper into her kit and what she does, we have in her skill 1 the Profound Dream. So the moment of awakening has come. Valerian deals 240% damage to a single enemy with a 40% chance to inflict 1 turn of slumber. This is going to be basically inflicting sleep, so the target cannot take action. This effect will end after taking damage, but the damage taken will be increased by an additional 25%. So that's actually one of the benefits of being able to put anything under sleep, is even if you do wake them up, they take scale damage, which I guess is kind of the plus or the benefit of waking them up, at least for you, right? Now, of course, going into the skill 2, you have Bubble. So Valerian releases Dream Bubbles, inflicting a turn of invincibility on the target ally and a turn of heal over time on all allies. Now, if the target's HP percentage is below 50%, extends the heal over time duration to 1 turn. Now, this is a great isolation ability because it does have a single target effect, but it also has an AoE effect. And with the invincibility being able to go to the single unit that you're aiming for, and then if their HP percentage is really low, this is actually going to be great for the extension of the heal over time, which means they get an extra value or extra amount of turns to be able to restore HP. Now, one of the things that makes her fairly unique, and she's currently the only unit in the game that can do this, is her ability called Deep Sleep. So a dream within a dream, truth in the illusion blur. So Valerian redistributes current HP among all allies, equalizing all allies' HP percentages while gaining a 2 turn of Hazy Dream for herself. Now, what makes Hazy Dream unique? For the duration, Valerian is immune to control effects and effects that affect the strike prep, but cannot take action. So when an ally starts their turn, Valerian grants them a shield equal to 12% of her max HP for 2 turns and a basic buff effect that they don't have. When an ally is about to die, Valerian is healed for 20% of her HP, max HP, and then ends Hazy Dream. Now, what's really important to note is that this also can be utilized as a death prevention ability. So when an ally is about to die, it will stop them from dying, and then Valerian will then heal for 20% of her max HP, or they will heal for 20% of her max HP, and then the Hazy Dream will end. Now, the other thing is that you're getting the shield that's scaled off of her HP, and then the basic buff effect, which the basic buff effect can be an attack up, defense up, crit rate buff, or a speed up buff. Any of these buffs that the character are missing could basically be supplemented or given to them, which makes this great for buff-oriented teams. And the thing is that what this is essentially doing is basically saying, hey, the more buffs you have, we'll have a unit that can basically be a buff filler, which there's no unit in the game that does this specifically. So it makes her extremely valuable. Now, as far as module recommendations, I would definitely say that Swift Rush is going to be your best friend, where this is going to be able to give you on a 12 matrix bonus a speed value increase of 35%. You're also going to have sets, for example, like the Wellspring set, which is basically going to be giving you a 45% HP increase on a 12 matrix bonus. And you can also utilize things like the Unbreakable set, which is going to be giving you a 45% defense increase on a 12 matrix bonus. Now, once you start looking at some other alternatives or options, I'll definitely say the Strive set can work, where it gives a defense increase of 10%, and after being attacked, it increases strike prep by 10%. Keep in mind, she is going to be in her Haze Dream effect, where she basically is going to be immune to everything, but she still can be attacked and still have her strike prep pushed. So this is something that you can kind of play into. You can also take advantage of things like Bloodbath. So it's an effect res increase of 18%. And when taking cumulative damage greater than 20% of max HP in a turn, the excess damage is further reduced by 60%. Just an extra way of sustaining her. And then of course, the Swift Smite is a great way to give yourself additional speed for rotation, and as well as some effect accuracy of 15% for the speed and 20% for the effect accuracy. Now, when we're actually looking at main stats and substats that you can aim for, I would definitely say HP bonus, and defense, or HP, can work extremely well for a character like that of Valerian. But you can also go HP, effect accuracy if you want to land the sleeps more often, but it is entirely up to you. Now, effect res also is another stat value that you can aim for as a main stat percentage. So again, that just depends on what values you have and what you're basically trying to get the unit to do. Now, of course, with that, I would say as far as substats, you want to definitely make sure that you're aiming for things like speed. You definitely want things like effect accuracy, effect res, HP, and defense. any of those mixtures can work on a character like Valerian. So that's what I would advise you to aim for. Now, as far as skill prioritization, we'll be starting out with the skill 3, where in the first node, it increases the shield amount to 11% of max HP. The second node is going to increase HP restored when allies are about to die to 20%. The third node will increase shield amount to 12% of max HP. And then the final one, at the start of the battle, Valerian immediately gains 1 turn of Hazy Dream. Now, moving on, we have the second skill that would follow up. In the first node, it will increase the target HP threshold to 40%. Then the next one will further increase it to 45%. Then that one after that will then increase it to 50%. And then lastly, you will reduce the skill cooldown by 1 turn. And then for the last node here, or the last skill, the first node is going to be increasing the damage multiplier to 220%. The second one will increase the chance of inflicting slumber to 20%. The third will further increase the damage multiplier to 240%. And then lastly, you will increase the chances of inflicting slumber to 40%. Now, as far as shell recommendations, you have ones like Shadowrunner, so the Unbridled Science, Star, the Mermaid Princess, Black Flag, Shanghai Jing, Blizzard, Gigabyte, Alicorn, Codex of Magic if you choose to, which is going to make it to where before the owner takes action, it unleashes the owner's Animus' full potential, making their next skill cost no cooldown. So Lighthouse. Now, of course, with our infamous pros and cons, starting out with the pros, I think it's safe to say that being able to give an invincibility is always going to be a super OP thing. Not only is she able to give the invincibility to a target, but then she also can grant them an extra heal over time if their value of HP is running low. But then she gives an entire party heal over time anyway. So this is something that actually just ends up being a super lucrative thing. The other thing is too, is what I typically call in these types of games a HP battery. She's able to basically be that. And she can offer things with her equalizing where she's basically able to be there to give more HP value or restoration to her teammates. And this is something that actually works outside of like healing restoration, because it's just another character's HP being poured into other characters. And it's not technically a heal. It's just sharing of HP value. Now, the other thing is too, is that this just makes it much easier for you to protect the character that you want to protect while still being able to safeguard herself. Now, when we're looking at some of the cons, I think the biggest con is really honestly her basic buff effect. I think it's one of those things where if you have less buffs on the party, you really are just kind of flipping a coin that has 5 sides on it. And if you need, say, an attack up versus a defense up, then that could be very useless. Or say you're trying to go for the crit rate buff, but you don't have anything else supplementing to make sure that that's more of a higher percentage. You're basically looking at a 1 out of 5 chance that you're going to get a specific buff whenever this procs. And so you want to make sure that you have enough buffs on the team comp so that you're basically increasing your chances of getting the more isolated or specific buff that you might be missing. So that's just kind of food for thought. So with all of that being said, that's going to be that basically for the Eternal Slumber Valerian. I hope that this was able to give you more insight on how this character works and maybe even giving you some ideas of how you might want to apply this character to your team compositions. But with that being said, guys, definitely let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe for more amazing Etheria Restart content just like this. But again, guys, everyone, stay blessed, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.